So, what did everyone do this weekend? Oh, I'm on the wrong mic. That's fine. You know what? Classic cold open style.
There you go.
I'll be on the old microphone. We'll switch over. What did everyone do this weekend?
I went and raced BMX for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
It was fun. And then
How'd that go?
I got second out of
Good.
3.
Good.
So
Okay, good stuff.
Middle of the pack.
yeah, I thought I had speed to compete with the guy in the lead, but I had like the worst start of my life in my main event, and I was like, well, all right. So
Yeah. I went to the little indoor kart track this weekend, just for
Nice.
funsies, just to kind of keep fresh and whatnot. And I had someone get mad at me. Someone got genuinely upset at me.
At an
something
indoor
that I did.
track?
Yep. So it was like someone who like I could tell almost knew kind of what they were doing, but were still kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he was kind of like he started ahead of me, and so I was just kind of coming up from behind, picking people off, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was coming through to I was about to make the pass on the slow guy that we rework because I was right behind him, and he went to the outside ahead of this corner. I was like, okay, well, there's a whole lot of room right here. Let me just sneak it up the inside. And a little misjudgment, and the guy in the middle, who's the random guy, doesn't know what he's doing, so he just turns down into the corner, and we kind of hit, bounce off each other. He bounced off the guy over there, whatever. I don't think anything of it. I move on.
Like a sane human being would.
Like a sane human being, and then, like, he gets up, he gets up to me like a corner or two later, and like just hits the hell out of me, like scoots me all the way up, like just head whipping back and forth kind of deal. Like, okay, interesting. And so, like, the next lap, I'm going to pass him again, like it's nothing, and he's like he's like next to me. He's like literally, this is the carts. He is here. This is me, and this is what we're doing. And he's just driving me into every wall. And I'm like, I'm not like really upset about it. I'm kind of laughing, but as he's doing it, he's next to me, and I'm looking at him, and then I'm looking ahead of me, and I'm pointing at the wall that I'm about to hit. And I do it. That happens probably 4 or 5 times, and then eventually, like, the flag dude like sees that this is happening, and he like turns up. He like turns because they're electric carts. They control how fast they go, and he gives me max speed for the rest of the race to let me get away from him. And I ran, and that happens sometimes. But I ran my personal best time by a 10th that day. That was pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh.
In that race. And we get out of the carts, and it's rental carts, right? Like, it's for fun. This is for me to like have a little bit of fun, pass some guys, rip some laps, just to say a little sharp. And this guy comes over and he's like, "Hey man, that's just like just a little bit of love, you for that dive bomb over there." And I'm like, "What? What dive bomb?" Okay, well, when you go down into the corner and you hit 2 people out of the way, that's a dive bomb. And I'm like, is it? Like, there's a guy right there. No, that's a dive bomb, buddy. Okay, yeah, whatever. Thanks, coach. I appreciate it. And then he walked away. And so that was, someone got genuinely mad at me because I dive bombed them in a rental cart race.
But you didn't.
Go-karts that have wheel covers and bumpers, and there's literally nothing dangerous that could ever happen.
Yeah, you're just lucky it wasn't the NASCAR Next Gen car with your head whipping the way it was, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, this guy was not happy with me.
I love toxic masculinity.
He was wearing like a shirt for a kart chassis brand that I recognized, so he had like an idea of what he was doing. And I guess that meant that anyone who was there that wasn't wearing karting branded merchandise didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he had a good time when he looked at the results sheet and I was 2 seconds quicker, but that's fine. 2 seconds quicker on a 20-second lap.
Oh my God.
That's a lot.
These things happen. But hey, what can you do?
And
I got back into iRacing last night.
Oh, good.
I finally,
Nice.
I did some iRacing.
Good.
Had a good time. I was 19th in the second split. Started 15th and ran 6th.
Yeah.
It was good. It was awesome.
Vegas?
I had so much fun. Yep, Vegas. Totally clean 0x. Great race.
Nice.
Haven't had that much fun on iRacing since January.
Yeah. Good.
It was a very Davey-dominated cold open. I'm sorry about that, boys.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We all have our moments.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say nothing really interesting happened in my race. It was just like we were like, all right, we're gonna go ride our bikes, and then we did that, and it was like that
And
was
then
cool.
we did that.
Good race, Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Got a little nuck glove.
Yeah.
Some nucks.
So yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mute my phone.
That's-
Whoops.
That was about it. Joe, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was awesome. Friday night got to see the boys in well, they were wearing blue and white, but the boys in maize and blue, the hockey team, beat the absolute crap out of number 9 Boston University 9-2 on the rink. And then on the gridiron on Saturday, beat the absolute crap out of the number 10 team in the country. The score was 41-17, but it should have been a lot wider of a margin.
Oh,
So Penn State, we beat the crap out of Penn State in the Big House, which was awesome. But Penn State going into the game had only given up 390-something, 388, I think might have been the number, yards rushing, as like total defense rushing.
Yeah.
In their first 5 games, our team ran for 418 yards.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, football's looking good. I'm about to be that toxic U of M fan, and I'm gonna love every second of it because my childhood was miserable because of this team at times. So I'm gonna let my early 20s be very, very fun because of this team at times. So,
yeah.
But
That's how it's gone.
folks, this was the Fake Racers podcast. We're so glad you're joining us this week. Got a lot to talk about like rolling the dice, making left-hand turns where you shouldn't be making left-hand turns. We got a lot to talk about. As always, I'm Joe Twansky. To my left on your screen, Davey Hazard. Down below is Mr. Matthew Steelman.
That's me.
And we are so glad you're listening to us. And if you're an audio listener, you heard our voices, so I don't, the directions kind of work, but they don't really. With all that being said, though, we were in Las Vegas, the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series races. Joey Logano wins the Cup Series race. Good strategy call there at the end to take tires, because tire wear was a thing, and we didn't see tires explode. So, haha.
Yeah.
Look at that, teams and NASCAR and fans that like to yell at Goodyear. Anyways,
Crazy how that works.
the only thing anyone's going to want to talk about is, of course, what happened second stage. Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson. Set the scene for you. Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace racing down into turn 3. Larson with a pretty brazy move. Big send down to the corner, drifts up the track. Never makes contact with the 45 of Wallace, but definitely doesn't give him any room. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Puts the squeeze on, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you changed mics.
Hey.
Now I'm distracted. You can't do that to me. Larson definitely puts the squeeze on. Wallace gets into the wall. Bubba rightfully angry, although overreacts, I think, is probably the general consensus. And if that's not what you think out of that, there's something really sick and twisted in your mind. If you think, right rearing someone into the outside retaining wall going 170 is okay, whatever. You're your own person, all good there, but I think you're an idiot. So let's talk about it, because I think I just made my opinion pretty clear, and Davey just walked off probably to get food or something, because it wouldn't be a traditional Fake Racers podcast without Davey getting takeout while we're trying to record. But Matt, I'll let you start. Thoughts as a Kyle Larson fan,
well, okay,
and a Bubba Wallace fan.
I was gonna say, you gotta clarify. I like both of these drivers a lot, but that's. This is not even the first time I've watched a driver I do that this year. So
Cars no surprise.
What was that?
Nothing. What?
No, I don't know. I genuinely didn't hear what you said.
Wonderful. That makes it better.
I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, it was just it was really stupid. It's like what we talked about with Hocevar, is that if you're in Cup, you should know better. And I know it's heat of the moment, you're angry, but you took a damaged car that was fixable early in the race and turned it into 3 junked cars, and a whole lot of bad juju now. So yeah, I don't understand it. It was ridiculous. If you're still muted.
I left. I got a cough drop so I would not cough as much during the podcast.
Hey,
sweetheart.
Thanks, love.
I mean, one more. I mean, everyone's kind of already said everything they can about this. As Joe said, Bubba Wallace gets put in the wall by Larson. No other way of putting that. If you think Denny Hamlin put Ross Chastain in the wall, Kyle Larson put Bubba in the wall. Rightfully angry, of course. Did he need to go and right rear him? No, he did not have to do that. It's pretty disappointing. Obviously, tensions are high. There's a lot. Bubba raises, and he made a statement recently. I'm sure we'll cover that as well. He made a statement recently, and he'll say as much. He raises with a lot of passion, a lot of emotion. I can relate to that. I've also still never right-reared anybody for them making me angry on the racetrack. Not acceptable. Hopefully it's learned from. Hopefully a penalty is levied, and we can all move on with our lives because this won't be the dumbest thing a NASCAR driver does, probably even until the end of the season, and most certainly through next season. I mean,
we've seen dumber stuff be done in the last few weeks. In my opinion,
it's not acceptable.
Yes,
that is not an excuse for it. But
people acting like this is the end of the world also need to calm the F down.
No, it's not.
I think a lot of that also has to do with the confrontation once they got out of their cars.
Peter Larson, you cannot get punked like that, man. You cannot get punked like that. Like, I get it, Bubba, like, not a good look to just go up to a guy and shove him into the back of the car and then shove him again when he's very much trying to disengage. But if you're Kyle Larson, you look like a... Oh, there are so many things...
I disagree with that.
No,
heavily.
No. Let me finish. I'm not done. I'm not done. Does Kyle Larson look like the bigger person? Yes, he does. Does he also look like he got punked? I mean,
cool. He's also like 5'6".
It's not an excuse.
He's not gonna fight anybody.
Shove him back. Shove him.
No. Why should he?
Helmet. Hit him with the helmet upside the head. That'll teach him, right? I want to see action.
All right, now you're just advocating for Marty McSorley and this friggin' guy.
I'm gonna be honest. If Bubba came up to me like that, I would not let that happen to me. I'm just saying.
I mean, you could. I'm not gonna say he shouldn't defend himself, but I'm not gonna give Kyle Larson crap for just going like, "What are you doing, dude?
No,
like you're the one who wrecked me."
I'm just saying he got punked.
I disagree with that. I don't think that's appropriate.
I'm not giving him crap, but he definitely
he got punked. Like,
he got.
I think he did the right thing, but he got punked.
He was had. That is like basically you can walk all over Kyle Larson if you want to. Is what I learned from that.
Yeah.
Is that surprising? No, I'm not saying that's the right or wrong thing to do.
I heard,
but my man got shoved 3 times. Larson's just
he just didn't do jack. He's like, ooh, I'm scared.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight. What part of that portrayed that he's scared?
I want to get in a fight. I'm scared.
I want to get in a fight.
This is absurd.
I'm only 5'6". Oh. Shut up. He got punked.
He did.
He didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just saying he
got punked. Why are you dunking on him?
Because he got punked.
I could not disagree.
Kyle Larson got punked. That's the title. Larson got punked.
That's a terrible title.
In really small text, and Bubba Wallace deserves a 30-point penalty. Yeah, if you.
As I was saying before we went on this friggin'
no, you don't get to talk anymore. You're done. You're muted. We're gonna start a round the horn type style show where you just get muted and it's when I choose. So deal with it. I'm
just gonna quit this podcast. It's the confrontation and then the like.
I bit my tongue off there.
I know there's not much of a better interview you can give in that, but maybe just no interview at all.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
It's just, it's just like how many bad decisions. And I know it's all heat of the moment, and I like Bubba a lot. I don't want to. Big fan of him, and it was like what I was saying on Twitter. It's like when you like somebody, it's because you like them and their actions, and you should hold them to a higher level of scrutiny because usually he's the kind of person I want to root for. And I was like, I was really upset by it. So it's stupid. Yeah, and you can't do that at Cup level or really any level.
No, you can't.
Especially in Cup.
Yeah, and the next gen car is so unsafe. I saw a lot of people talking about that. That was the dumbest. Well, he shouldn't have done it because we know the car isn't safe. Shut up.
It's literally like a second. There's literally like a second from the time he hits the wall to the time he's hooking Kyle Larson down at the apron. And I like to imagine these people are like, well, yeah, he clearly thought, oh my God, I'm so mad. But hang on, Kurt Busch is currently not coming back to racing at all because he's got a concussion. And Kyle Larson's teammates also got a concussion. So maybe I shouldn't do this. No, that didn't go through his head. He was saying, I'm pissed off and I'm going to wreck Kyle Larson.
The fact, I would like to say...
The best Facebook comments were the ones that were like, he put Kyle Larson's life in danger. I don't know
as
about all
Kyle
that.
Larson hits the wall, driver's side, and we,
I don't know about all that.
we move the... And this is where I get frustrated with some of the things, because all the hits that we have seen that have caused issues with drivers are the rear of the car. Neither of those cars hit on the rear. If anything, Bubba took a worse hit because he hit the wall nose first, and Larson hit it driver's door, and we know the drivers have been moved closer to the center of the car, and there's a lot of padding and foam there, because we've seen it catch fire this year. So, I don't know. That was the... I get the thought process, but holy crap, that is the dumbest argument to be like, well, he should have known better in the moment. Yes, because you totally know in the moment when you yell at your brother or your mom or your dad that they had a really rough day at work, and you knew that they did, so that's why you still yelled at them anyways, because you suck as a human being. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that's how the human brain works, obviously.
Shut up. Precedent was set earlier this year with Noah Gragson. Not that it was followed by NASCAR in the wake of Carson Hocevar's Jazz, but
Precedent was not set. Precedents are never set. Precedents are never set in NASCAR. Don't say that. Stop saying that. It bothers me. It's annoying. Everyone's going to say that and jump on that bandwagon. It's not real. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Incidents are different. But if you look at other similar incidents, we don't really know, but I would go along. This is more of a Noah Gragson style. Needs to be a 30-point driver owner point penalty, $35,000, $30,000 fine, and you move on with it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to suspend him. I saw people saying that he should be suspended. Shut up. Well, Matt Kenseth got suspended. Yeah, Matt Kenseth also went out there driving 25 miles per hour and wrecked the leader of a race. Jeopardized the integrity of a race. Let Jeff Gordon make the championship 4. Like, shut up. Like, these events are all very different. And people like to oversimplify things.
Yeah.
These are things we can't oversimplify.
I was going to say, to be fair, Matt Kenseth was truly based there, though.
And therein lies our problem right there. So, it's okay when a driver I don't like gets wrecked. When a driver I do like gets wrecked, it's bad.
Yes.
Correct.
They all suck.
Correct.
Are some funnier than others? Yes. But are they all terrible things to do? Yes.
For legal purposes, this is all a joke, by the way.
No, it's not. I think
No,
you
it's not.
very much meant what you said.
Don't listen to anything I say.
You're drinking an Arnold Palmer. I think all the high schoolers across America are very happy with you.
You got a problem with that? Huh?
I just remember, so for fundraising in high school, they would sell Arnold Palmers underneath the staircase.
Okay.
That's such an odd sentence.
I just remember that.
Maybe I just like the taste of lemonade and iced tea mixed together.
Also, working at McDonald's, and when people would ask you for an Arnold Palmer and be like, well, X restaurant lets me do it, and it's the middle of lunch rush, and I really don't have the time to mix lemonade and iced tea together. Really tested my patience and was probably God's largest battle that he bestowed upon me.
Damn, bro, that sucks.
Anyways, good 1.5 mile racing, I think, was the big takeaway.
Yeah.
Right? Vegas put on
really good
two
race.
very good races this year, despite maybe the last couple of years not as good racing. So, hey, maybe build Texas and Las Vegas's vision. I don't know.
That won't happen.
No, it won't. Logano clinches first Final Four spot to no one's surprise. I'm pretty sure I literally lost our picks. So,
I think I had Ross, so you got pretty close with that one.
Yeah. But Logano won. Cool. Penske was fast all day. Ryan Blaney Rex. Cool.
It's Ryan Blaney football, baby.
Yep. It's round of 8. Time to not make the Final Four.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe comes out of nowhere to get a top 5 finish, I think. I think he ended up finishing top 5, if not top 10, despite running like 28th all day, and that has been a common thread for his playoffs.
They had early issues and were basically just like digging
They
themselves out
didn't
of that
have
hole the whole
issues.
race.
They sucked. That was their issue.
So they had issues.
That's not an issue. That's just sucking. There is a difference.
That's still an issue though, because
No,
it's not ideally what you want to do.
No, because when you use issue, you're implying that something happened on the track.
Yeah,
And
they
nothing
weren't
happened
running
on the
well.
track.
That's what happened on the
car
track.
Sucked.
I think Matt's like 70% correct and Joe is 80% correct. You want to know what's 100% correct? Issues happen that are extraneous to your normal running position.
Yeah, and Chase Briscoe's normal running position was like 25th yesterday, so...
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter where you ran; it's where you finished, yo.
Yeah, but...
It does, though, because he could have a really crappy next 2 rounds and doesn't get that, doesn't get that break, doesn't get that strategy call. It does matter.
I'm just saying, okay. This is something that I've been noticing that's weird, is everybody is just crapping on Chase Briscoe recently.
I'm
like,
not crapping on Chase Briscoe.
People straight up saying that he's undeserving,
That's
as
dumb.
if random dumbass people have the authority to say this person doesn't deserve because they're performing at the proper time of the year as the championship format decides.
No, it's not even that he's
so
performing
absurd.
at the proper time of the year. He's just performing in like the last third of the race. Like it's amazing what they're doing if you really think about it, because all year long you've seen it where, okay, if I unload 25th, the best I can finish is 15th. Because holy crap, I'm digging myself out of this. But him, Johnny Klossmeyer, that entire crew that have done such a great job of doing strategy, of making adjustments to the race car, of getting Chase the track position that he needs to at least capitalize on clean air or cleaner air.
Yeah.
To where at the end of the races they can do well. What?
My phone rang.
That's okay. That's not why you're laughing, though. I don't think it is. Okay.
It was, because I thought you heard it. Did you not hear it?
I heard it, yeah.
Okay, I was about to say.
I think the thing that just annoys me is it's like, oh my god, this like incredible underdog story has been happening. Like this team's kind of coming out of nowhere. I don't like it. It's like,
well, yeah,
God,
because Cole Custer hit the brakes.
Yeah, true.
Come on.
Yeah. It's just annoying.
Dumb penalties.
Enjoy racing, people.
Put Kyle Larson in the round of 8.
Ignoring the Chase Briscoe, ignoring the Chase Briscoe victim tour. I mean, it's not unfair to say that he still has not been running well, and it is something to worry about. I know he got a really good finish.
Oh yeah,
but
they're not running.
Anything can happen, and you need to be performing top of your game. These last couple rounds.
It annoys me that it's like, oh, has low top 10s. It's like, yeah, so does William Byron. There's a lot of dudes, but it's like where people are riding Chase Briscoe's ass as if he's not a second-year driver in the most parity-filled season that's ever existed.
I don't want to hear it when people are riding Harrison Burton's ass.
I don't get that either. I don't like it either.
Okay,
I'm like, he's a freaking
Wait,
rookie driving for a single car team. Like,
and
cut him some slack.
What are
he's
people
not
doing?
been that bad lately.
Yeah, he's just invisible. And like sometimes as a rookie, that's good.
People
if you're not getting into trouble.
People think Harrison Burton's doing a bad job.
I don't get it, dude.
I think a ton of people think Harrison Burton's doing a bad job.
Why?
Because he barreled into a few wrecks. Which he did do that, and that part wasn't good, excuse me.
The crazy part is that those same people are probably the people in iRacing that have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, I mean, regardless.
Guys, the rookie made a rookie mistake. Unbelievable.
Regardless, that opens up a whole new thing on Harrison Burton, who, like I said, I think has been doing a lot better recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these guys. I mean, all these guys who are new in Cup. I mean, there's going to be growing pains, but it's realistic to assume that those growing pains are still, things to be concerned about, things to note that,
oh yeah,
one of these guys in the final round of 8 is not your normal top 10 contender,
Well,
that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
2 of them.
I don't pay attention to the points. Sorry.
Chase Briscoe and William Byron.
Oh, William Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Byron's been booty hole since his win or whatever.
Since Martinsville.
I checked a while back. I gotta see what.
I got it up.
I think
William
he has...
Byron has 9 top 10s and 5 top 5s. Chase Briscoe has 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s.
He only has. Oh, he has 9 now. I was gonna say up until the start of the playoffs, he had more DNFs than top 10s. It's been bad. Yeah, he's had. Yeah, from the stretch of after he won Martinsville to the start of the playoffs, he had a top 10.
Oof.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, to put that in perspective, Eric Jones has 13 top 10s, more than both of them. So
That is truly absurd. Hang on.
Truex has, and also for all the people that say Martin Truex Jr. should totally be in the playoffs, Martin Truex Jr. has 4 top 5s and 14 top 10s. Eric Jones has 3 top 5s and 13 top 10s and a win. So I'll just to say Eric Jones should be in the 19 car.
Oh my God, he really does.
Thank you, Joe.
Dude's on a tear.
Thank you, Joe.
Eric Jones superiority. Speaking of Chevrolet drivers that have overperformed, I think, our expectations this year, Josh Berry wins again and again and again. We talked about it. He needed to win Martinsville, and guess what? He just wins the first race and now doesn't have to worry about Martinsville. So
he very well still could win Martinsville, to be quite honest with you. He probably will.
Yeah.
Which is good. We like that. We like those things.
So he's the first to take place in the Final Four. I was at a football game. I don't have too much to talk about this one, although NASCAR inconsistency with cautions seem to be popping up on my timeline a bunch, so I don't know if...
when does it not, to be fair?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But AJ Allmendinger has late trouble. He thought he had a wheel loose. Came down, did have a wheel loose, lost a bunch of track position. And Noah Gragson was dominating the race and ends up not winning because of said caution.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I loved the post-race thing because Barry, Gragson, and Allgaier finished 1, 2, 3, and then when they came down pit road, Allgaier ran into the back of Gragson, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, are they mad?" And Gragson gets out and is like, "What's going on?" And then you see Allgaier walk up and say like 2 words to him, and then leave, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And then they asked him, he's like, "Yeah, I lost my brakes." So like all the broadcast was hyping up like, "Oh my God, these 2 teammates, they're mad at each other again." And Justin's like, "Yeah, my car broke."
Really bad day for AJ Allmendinger as well. He had a problem late in the race under green or something like that.
Yeah, it was the loose wheel.
Yeah, he had the loose wheel.
They went from top 5 to now below the cut line after one race.
Crazy. Haley Deegan had a good run.
Yeah, she had a friggin' great day.
Genuinely surprised by that. That was I don't want to go too far here. Wait, go ahead, Joe. You gave me a look when I said I was surprised by that.
It's not uncommon for drivers that maybe don't perform to our expectations in the Truck Series to all of a sudden outperform our expectations in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but I was surprised. I didn't expect the run to be so good, and who knows, man? Maybe this could have saved her career.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
I saw a lot of people talking about how, her background comes from like racing off-road trucks, which you just kind of sling around and it's a lot of throttle control. And the trucks are,
not
how much time can we spend on the gas, So it doesn't seem to fit her skill set essentially. So
yeah.
It was refreshing because there's a lot of hype behind Haley Deegan when she first got in the trucks, and she's been pretty much completely invisible the whole time. So it's kind of a reminder that like, hey, maybe she can cut it. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah,
it was good. It was refreshing. I'm glad that I'm glad that the reason that she has not been performing that well is because she probably just isn't great with trucks, and also it's the Truck Series being the Truck Series.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder how many other Truck Series drivers, when they get out of trucks, are whether they're the good drivers that aren't going to perform as well in Xfinity or the ones that aren't performing in trucks right now. They got bumped up to Xfinity. What would they do? It's intriguing to think about.
And right now, she doesn't have a home in the Truck Series, right? Ford development driver, DGR is switching back to Toyota. They're taking all the KBM money, which is good for DGR, but not good for Ford. So
yeah,
because now kind of leaves them, okay, where are we going to find our feeder team in the trucks? Are we going to find a feeder team in the trucks, or are we just going to start at Xfinity, and which I think is a wiser thing, because we've talked about it before. Those were kind of our first couple episodes with this podcast, was talking about the development ladder rungs and things that different manufacturers had set up. But I think Deegan would perform better in Xfinity. We'll talk about Gene Haas and Stuart Haas and kind of down the line here tonight, but seems like she could do pretty well in the Xfinity Series based off of one start. Which she also had a really good first truck start, and
Yeah, true.
So.
I would say it's probably harder to have a good first Xfinity start, though.
Oh, I would too. Especially with the
It's a lot more
equipment.
competitive.
This equipment, I don't think is as good as compared to what the truck equipment would be compared to the rest of the Cup field or truck field rather.
Yeah, I understood you.
I mean, like it was an SHR prepared car from the sounds of it and stuff, but I still think you still have people and crews and stuff, and it's still SS Greenlight, which
from what I heard, it's basically like SHR hand-me-downs. So
okay, so
yeah,
good stuff, not great.
Hey, top 15. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh yeah,
pretty good for a first start. So big news obviously comes out. Kurt Busch, and we talked about it last week. We pretty much figured this is what it was coming. Pretty much have thought of this ever since August. I think that he'll be stepping away from full-time racing next year. Still not 100%. Don't want to get in the car unless you're 100%.
Yep.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's a loss for the sport. It's a loss for 2311. I don't know if Kurt Busch is going to stay there in any. Yeah.
So from the sounds of it, he's going to stay there as a driver coach type role, advisory role, which I think is something he wanted to do anyways. He's talked about that at times. This is like Denny Hamlin's talked about it. We want this to be his home. Left the door open for maybe running some limited events next year, which I think would be really good for him and that team because it gives you a good benchmark because Kurt Busch is going to get what he can get out of the equipment. But like you said, it's a loss for the sport, right? It's a loss for at least the active sport, the on-track product. It's your last. Him and Harvick are the last of this generation of drivers that we grew up watching, right?
He's the last active driver to have ever raced against Dale Earnhardt, too.
That is such a weird stat that I hate when people bring that up. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's a true stat and it's cool, but
yeah, it's just a little notable fact. So it's just kind of like
it's a little. Hey, here's a little nugget. I'm cool fact that I think people try to use. Not you.
He's the last person that Dale Earnhardt ever flipped off on track. There we go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a bummer. I mean, Kurt Busch, what is this, 20 years into his career, is still a top-tier driver. So, but there's some really cool mock-ups I saw of a 97 in the 2311 font. So
I would love that. It would be really good to give Kurt Busch a proper send-off on track,
Yeah.
I would think he's not going to run any of the super speedway style races next year. If you do run one, it would be the 500, but you've won it. I don't know if there's really a reason to go and keep racing it. It's not like you're Mark Martin where you didn't win it and you really wanted to win it.
Yeah.
It's going to be in this Terry Labonte arc where he's just going to keep showing up for 10 years. Anybody got a ride?
But yeah, it's a loss. It's a loss for the active on-track product for sure.
Yeah.
He also talked about going and talking with the folks at Fox about doing broadcasting, which Kurt Busch is really good on occasion, and sometimes his stuff isn't so good. It kind of depends on who he's paired up with, I've noticed. I feel like his Xfinity calls have been a lot better than some of his truck calls at times of races. Also depends on the race. One of those guys that kind of gets caught up in the Fox hokiness at times, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm judging what I'm saying based off of Davey's expressions, and they're very monotone. But I think he'd be a really good addition to any booth.
He would be. I like Kurt Busch up in the booth. I just want to see Kurt Busch stick around the sport. I think he's good. I think he's good for the sport. You see what he did. You see what he did to every race team he came to. I have no doubt that could be replicated with him not behind the wheel. So.
Yeah. I mean, all I have to do is look at 2311 this year. They went from, underachieving kind of disaster last year to, maybe the fastest team in the sport right now. So.
It pains me. I know this doesn't do me any good to think about. It pains me to think what he could have done in the playoffs with the speed he was showing.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that they won Kansas.
Yeah, and how fast Bubba's been since then, too.
Yeah.
So.
Knowing that he's a little better road course racer. and Bubba
Yeah.
is with the Roval and stuff. So
Yeah. Also, maybe the greatest like heel turn in NASCAR history, because Kurt Busch went from literally the most hated driver in NASCAR's fandom to one of the most beloved.
as a wrestling fan, using the phrase heel turn really irks me there. Heel turn is when you become a bad guy. He did a face turn because he became a good guy.
Oh my god.
It's, like, why does anyone like? That was the most dweeb stuff I've ever heard in my life.
Man comes in talking about his rental cart experience and talking about how a dude in a cart chassis brand shirt is yelling at him and says that I just said the most dweeb thing he's ever heard.
Joe,
like,
wrestling is basically like theater but with punching.
Yeah. So? Do you not watch TV shows? Do you not watch scripted shows at all ever?
Vaguely.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah,
shut
usually
up.
they don't involve dudes in like their underwear, so. Not judging, but, you know.
Listen, everyone has their vices.
Yeah. True, I'm not supposed to yuck someone else's yum, so let's be honest.
Woo-wee!
Tyler Reddick's going to drive the 45 next year. It got announced that the 2311 had figured out the buyout there. Kind of figured that all along. Really sound. I bet you this was always the plan. When RCR made that announcement, they probably already were in negotiations about Tyler getting bought out of that. I'm sure 2311 has known for a while that this was going to be the outcome. And it's just contracts, you can't really talk about them when you're negotiating them a lot of times. So, good for Tyler Reddick, I guess. He doesn't have to sit in RCR purgatory for a year.
Yeah.
Which was going to be really awkward.
This whole thing really resolved itself very well. Nobody had to buy a third charter, so.
It sounds like RC might still buy that third charter, so.
Yeah.
Gotta have a car for Austin Hill, you know?
Yeah. So.
Austin Bill.
I mean, there's a reason he went and drove that race at Michigan this year, folks, and it's not because he just wanted to run a cup race.
Yep.
Because he is a cup talent. So. There's going to be some open seats coming up these next couple of years. Look out.
Yeah.
Hey,
great segue.
Yeah. Gene Haas is an absolute madman on the grid before the race. He's spilling all the tea.
He was spitting.
Said that Harvick is probably gone after 2023. They're trying to get him to come back, but in the wake of the way Harvick's talked about NASCAR, I think he's done.
I think they officially announced that Harvick's not coming back.
So, they didn't officially announce anything. There was a report today.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yes, that he is done after 23. Also said that Eric Almirola might be gone after next year, which is also weird because he signed a 2-year deal after saying he was done after this year. So, Eric Almirola doesn't know what he wants, which isn't surprising.
Who knows?
Also, apparently Tony Stewart wants Ryan Preece in the 41. He wants to give old Cole Custer the caboot. And Gene Haas wants Cole Custer in the car, and guess who foots the bill for the 41 team?
Ryan Preece with all those race winnings when he gets in the car, baby.
Man, it's almost like you could have gotten out of the Eric Almirola deal while you had the chance, but you didn't.
Yeah, but Smithfield.
Yeah, but
that bacon money is pretty. Sure. It's almost as delicious as oil money. So, someone say more. I also have Haley Deegan question mark in here because Xfinity plans are still up in the air. Could be running 2 cars next year if Deegan can secure funding, is what it sounds like.
That was the one that surprised me too, is that Herbst is still going to be there.
I mean, he's been better this year than he was.
Yeah, he's definitely picked it up as the year's gone on, but yeah, there was a lot of rumors that I was hearing that he was done.
Oh boy. Anyway, let Ryan Preece, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ford's not Ford. Stewart Haas has kind of gotten themselves into a bind because like they missed out on Kyle Busch.
I don't think they were ever seriously in that conversation. I know a lot of people like to say that they had the money to, but
yeah. But regardless, that wasn't a chance. I don't know if they were swinging for it, but it was there, you know. And
Kyle Larson a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, they missed
Warren
out on
said
that.
no.
So, yeah, who knows?
Ford blood money.
It's gonna be weird to look at Stuart Haas because like you can go back a few years ago and they had Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, and Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, like three really well established veterans. Or no, did Boyer and Busch ever drive at the same time? 2018. Actually, they did. Yeah, I couldn't remember what year Boyer went there. And now they could be looking at their lineup being Briscoe, Custer, Almirola, and Ryan Preece. And there's like 4 wins across those guys. It's weird.
And then somewhere in that like line of drivers at SHR, Daniel Suarez was there, which is like a fever dream anymore.
I already like kind of don't remember most of 2019, so the fact that Daniel Suarez spent a year driving for Stuart Haas is just a complete blur to me.
Yeah,
Daniel Suarez's career is a complete blur. I mean, dude wins an Xfinity title because Cole Witt stays out on a late restart at Homestead.
John Peterson, if you're listening, this is the part where you tune out for like a minute. Okay, sorry.
Listen, I got bad memories from that night. So you have that. Gets elevated to Cup, even though I think everyone knew he wasn't ready for it at that moment.
Yeah. That was like oh god, Carl Edwards retired, break glass in case of emergency.
Daniel Suarez has, Eris likes him. Then, Furniture Row gets shut down, so bye-bye Suarez, hello Truex at Gibbs, because why would you not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Stuart Haas for a year. In, like you said, a fever dream of a year. Then leaves in 2020. Misses the Daytona 500 because he is racing for a team that had no business running full-time.
Correct.
And Gaunt Brothers Racing. I think he ran the rest of the races.
Yeah, he ran full-time that year.
I know he ran full-time, but I don't think he missed another race.
You're right.
Justin
gets announced in like May, June that he's leaving that team for Trackhouse because Justin Marks is going to start a team.
Oh, you mean that dickhead that won that Mid-Ohio race?
Yeah, in the rain.
That guy? That dickhead, he's starting a race team?
Wasn't he going to go climb Mount Everest or something?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And now as a Cup Series winner, round of 8 or round is 12 driver in the playoffs for the first time.
Technically driving for Ganassi because that dickhead that won the Mid-Ohio race that started
just
the Cup
bought
team
his former boss.
Yeah, now it's funny to look back at this week and it was like, yeah, he was in contention to win until he spun late in the race.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, my pick of Ross Chastain was almost a golden one, man. He was fast.
Yeah.
Them new tires on Logano did the trick for him, man.
Well, and Ross not blocking like he normally would, too. Like
Right.
he was not as aggressive as he was earlier in the year.
Do we think that's Ross Chastain realizing he's got to try and get to the championship 4? Like, do you think that's him?
I think that's him realizing
this
he
is
had
what
a
he's gotta
cushion
do?
coming into the race, and he got decent amount of stage points, and a second place run is not all that bad.
Yeah.
We love a little bit of character development. Homestead this weekend. I just wanted to point out that Ross Chastain was relatively calm during a very intense moment on the track for once.
I mean, he still blocked.
The battle was so fun to watch.
But-
Too.
It was a
That
good
such
battle. He was doing a
Exactly.
really good job defending for a while there.
Yeah.
There was at one point where he was holding like just holding him perfectly in his mirror, where like he was giving him like half a lane up top to make Joey think he could go to the top, but not enough to where like Ross couldn't close the door immediately. But because he was running that like half a lane down, if Joey made a move to the bottom, he had a half a car width to react as well. Like the way they were, it was just really, really good defending. I as a fan of racecraft, I really enjoyed watching that and dissecting it as it happened. It was great. It was good stuff.
He almost out Joey Logano.
It was genuinely.
I like how we barely even talked about the finish of the race now we're getting here. But that was my feeling at the end of this. I was like, this is, of course, Joey Logano would come out of nowhere and win this race. Yeah.
There's never a race that Joey Logano wins where I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's more like, oh,
It's like-
yeah, that's
like
right.
he doesn't like he comes out of nowhere to win and you're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
was I think it was a Steve Luvender tweet where he said that he was going to make shirts that just said all of that for a Logano win.
The most
I was like,
expected, unexpected winner of all time.
Yeah.
In any scenario.
No one
Like
expects the Spanish Inquisition or Joey Logano coming out of nowhere.
Like if there's gonna be a winner that's gonna be like, whoa, what? And then it's gonna be Joey Logano, and it's gonna be like, whoa, what? Oh, of course it is.
Oh yeah. So
it's
pretty fun.
we're going to Homestead in the playoffs once again.
We're all going to Homestead.
Xfinity predictions for Saturday.
Is it true?
No,
Wait, when's
trucks are
racing?
there too. Trucks are there too. I forgot it on the sheet.
God. I mean, to be fair, it is the truck series. So
It's their last race before the title race too.
yeah.
They're not going to Martinsville next week.
Oh,
Sad. I guess not sad that race.
mixed feelings because I
Yes.
love trucks at Martinsville, but at the same time, trucks at Martinsville is terrible.
Yeah. My pick is Parker Kligerman, Ryan Priest, brainchild.
Okay. Or no?
I'm gonna go. He's in desperation mode. I'm gonna go with John Hunter Nemechek.
I'm going to take Chandler Smith.
Yep. Oh, we didn't even mention what team did Chandler Smith sign with? I already forgot.
Calling.
Oh, that's right.
We
Calling
talked about it last
Xfinity.
week.
Oh, did we talk? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
You were here for that show too.
Yeah. Crazy.
Xfinity picks.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go. No. AJ Allmendinger.
He's got to have a good run. You know, I think he's gonna get it done finally. Sheldon Creed.
Austin Hill.
Ooh.
Oh, so lame. Boo.
We love our RCR Xfinity boys.
Cup Series.
Justin Haley.
Good pick.
Dude,
good
that
pick.
was, dude. If they didn't have that last caution and his tires didn't get heat cycled like 8 times, like we could have seen. It would have been Justin Haley versus Chase Briscoe for the win. It was insane.
Dude, he was moving too on that last
Yeah.
on one of those, not the last restart, but
Yeah,
one of those
the
restarts.
last one he unfortunately just dropped like a rock at the
Yeah.
end. But
Justin Haley
wow.
heard everyone saying that AJ Allmendinger should just replace him.
Yeah.
A fire got lit
Honestly.
under Justin Haley's booty.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. He's been running well.
I'm gonna take. Oh my god, who do I want here? I feel like it's gonna be a playoff driver who's gonna win this.
I want James Hamlin.
Gross.
He could do it too. He's good at Homestead.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know who to pick here. Actually, I'm gonna take the obvious one. Tyler Reddick. Dude always rips here.
Ooh.
Kyle
And he's
Larson
not a
also
playoff
would have been a
driver.
good pick.
Yeah.
It's a good
Chris
pick.
Buescher.
William
I was
Byron
thinking
probably
about
is a good
Buescher.
pick.
Yeah, Reddick knows how to rip it around this place though. So
Chase Elliott for some reason.
Okay.
What an atrocious
Also-
day that they had.
shout out to Chase Elliott not ending the first race of a playoff round with his entire gap gone this time.
Yeah, this
So,
time he has 10 points.
Yeah. It's something. It's a start.
It's better than nothing.
They didn't blow the entire lead yet. They still have this week to do that. So
Well, folks, that's going to wrap up our conversation for this evening. Cannot thank you enough, as always, for watching, listening, however you support us here on the Fake Racers podcast. Make sure you either leave us a review on your podcast platforms, like the podcast, do all that stuff on the audio versions, or right here on YouTube. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, do all those things. We're live with Broadcasted Sim Racing this week on YouTube and Twitch now. Johto Network on YouTube, Johto 2, because I haven't started a JTN Twitch yet, because I don't know if I'm going to, on Twitch. So go check that all out. We'd appreciate it if you checked out the Twitch and made sure you gave a follow over there. I'll try to link that in the video description below. Might not. Never know how I will feel. Davey's links are down below. Matt's links are down below. Oof Sides should hopefully be available at some point. Again.
I was busy this weekend, but I'm uploading them all tonight.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful.
The 2 out of 3 of them are editing, and the last one just needs to be rendered. So,
Oof Sides is being brought to you en masse.
yeah.
And this is why sometimes podcasts struggle, is because inconsistent uploads. Isn't that right?
Yep. Well, it doesn't
But-
help that I disappeared for a
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
in
I was
the
gonna
middle of
say.
the upload schedule.
gonna say.
So
Yeah. You should get an editor.
I should.
You should pawn it off onto one of those other knuckleheads.
I could.
Because I already got
Yeah,
enough
well.
on my plate. Davey's got
Yeah.
a lot on his plate.
My plate remains full. I wish I wouldn't. If my plate didn't remain full, I would just work full time for JTN on that sweet JTN salary.
Mm-hmm. That sweet salary of about $10 a week.
Oh yeah.
You can make that work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just stop buying everything.
Yeah, you don't need food.
This has been the Fake Racers podcast.
Or water.
This has been water.
Or heat. Or air.
This
Or
has
electricity. You don't need electricity, right?
been... Joe,
Yeah.
give it a rest.
Anyways, folks, cannot thank you enough, as always, for watching the Fake Racers podcast. Do all those things I asked you to do. I'd really appreciate it. Because sometimes I get sad when I see numbers that go big on videos that we post. It makes me happy. Wow, look at that. I am easily satisfied.
You wouldn't want to make Joe sad, would you?
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to make Bristol sad. He is out over there. But cannot thank you, folks, enough, as always, for watching, listening, doing all those things. We'll see you guys next week on the Fake Racers podcast. So long for now, folks.
Goodbye.